thank you for joining me. It's a pleasure to be chatting. How are you, mate?
Thanks for having me, man. I'm good, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, this movie, let's talk about it. Like, firstly, the opening sequence is an absolute cracker. I said to my wife, like, are you watching what I'm watching? This is so cool. Must feel good to have the movie out there for people to finally see.
Absolutely, man. Sometimes you never know if you're gonna get this thing done, right? So, like, I
Yeah.
remember they always ask, they're like, "What was your favorite part or time on set?" I was like, "When we wrapped, when we wrapped."
Yeah, really?
And I'm not trying to be like facetious or funny. It's just like I can't believe we got this shit done, especially because I was working 5, 6 days a week, 12, 13, 14, 15 hours, 4 hours in makeup, but whatever, all that shit. And you got to take it off every day. I was like, can't believe it's done. It's done. It's done. It's quiet. We finished the war. Ceasefire. Ceasefire, baby.
Big relief, big relief. Admittedly, like I have not read the Crooked Man comic book, but from the synopsis alone, which is batshit
Yeah.
crazy, I imagine it took a
Mhm.
lot of balls to adapt it, particularly considering like the movies that came before it.
Right.
Obviously everybody's excited to be making a new movie, but was there any sense of apprehension about this one being so aesthetically different?
You know what? And not to kind of like pawn it off to someone else or punt it off. Probably that's more of a director thing for me. The excitement and the gratitude and just I can't believe this is an opportunity for me kind of trumped any what are we doing? How are we going to do it? Because it's a once in a lifetime thing. Like you could get any crime script or drama or comedy, right? But like Hellboy is it's a one off thing, man. It's like lightning hitting you right in the ass. So I was like, let's do this, man. I don't care how it comes out or what happens or how we do it. Fuck it, let's go. Excuse
No
my language.
apprehension whatsoever. That's awesome.
No, no,
Um,
no. There was
yep.
some, but it was trumped over by excitement.
Yeah, awesome. It's good to hear.
Yeah.
What was your take on the whole folklore direction of it, though? Like, because obviously people are familiar with the franchise or the property, but this one is drastically different in movie terms. What was your take on that?
Um. Honestly, I was excited that it's grounded, that it's a smaller scale, whatever vocabulary you want to use. It's a little more broken down, a little more independent. Instead of in Brian Taylor's words, space opera or this whole big shebang.
Mm,
I was excited, and even more so on set that we were able to lean into the human element of him, the younger element.
hmm
It wasn't a lot of it, but maybe some subtleties, right? So I'm all about it, man. I like it when it's stripped down, raw, a little more. That's my kind of aesthetic, right? So I was I,
100%.
I was into it.
I love that as I'm talking to you right now, I can kind of hear Hellboy in you. Like I love that. It's great. Um, what was the process of getting this gig? Like, how far into it were you before they decided that you're their guy? Did you have to go through the makeup before they said yes, or did they have you in
No,
mind?
no, it came out of left field, man. Like just like I always say this, like anything good, extremely good or extremely bad, it just came out of nowhere, man. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like love. I got the call from a producer I've worked with before. He's a big fan. We got along really well. He thinks I'm just the guy for that, and I was like, okay. Had to jump through a few hoops as actors do, put some stuff on tape, and they were like, dude, you fucking knocked this shit out of the park, man. You're that guy. And it just happened really fast, really quick. It was really surreal, honestly.
Uh-huh.
It took like a week or two before everybody ticked off and you're like, yeah, okay, okay, we get it, we see it. But in general, it happened really fast, right?
hmm
So
That's awesome. And obviously, previously there've been two other interpretations of this
yep.
character. Did you have them in mind when you were, trying to flesh this character out a bit? Um, that's always interesting to me because, fans have a certain expectation, but you also kind of want to do your own thing. How did you approach it?
It's a good question. It's the first question that popped into my mind, right, subconsciously, because I didn't watch David Harbour's film
Hmm
until after the fact, out of curiosity,
Yep.
and I've seen Ron Perlman's years ago, so it was all kind of faded and vague. So I know Ron knocked it out the park, but like I said before, because I've been asked a similar question. I mean, the blueprint is done for you, right? It's a collaborative team effort, right?
Yeah.
I'm not making the hair, I'm not making the prosthetic, right? You're just a little more than a cog in the system, so to speak, right? Your team, you're a juicy team member, but it is a team effort, right? It's definitely a team sport with this, man.
Hmm.
The prosthetics people are on board, the director, there's Mike, we all got to work together. So you got a blueprint, you follow it. Thankfully, I felt comfortable reading the script. I said I could make this my own. Like I smoke, I eat the cigarettes. I got to improvise a few one-liners, and for me, the guy's close to home. I find him really, very relatable. Outside the fact that he looks
Yeah.
like a supernatural maniac, right? But
Yeah.
soulfully, intimately, emotionally, intellectually, I can relate to it. Thankfully, so it was fun.
Awesome. And I know that the Hellboy creator Mike Mignola was involved in this project a bit
Yep,
more than
yep,
he
yep.
was in previous ones. Did he have much interaction with you and talk to you about, the character itself? And did he have any advice?
No, I didn't get to meet him until after the fact,
Wow.
which was kind of fun. He's kind of like Hellboy himself, man. Like this, you know, jaded, been there, done that kind of. I can see a lot of him in Hellboy, and it's based on his dad a lot, the character, right? It was fun talking to him, getting to know where this all came from. So, no, but Brian worked intimately with him, which is most important, right?
Yep.
Those guys, the creators, the overseers, the bird's eye view kind of folk need to really know what they're doing. I just gotta get this character on the ground, and
Yeah.
that was
Very
that.
interesting. Interesting that you say that the character's based on his dad, which would mean that putting this one in the 1950s makes it probably the closest that Hellboy has been to what his dad was like, which is interesting.
Yeah, he said his hands were so hard he used to light matches for a cigarette right off his hand.
Oh, wow.
Because he was a cabinet maker. He was a mill worker, I guess, of some sort. I don't think I'm making that up, man. I was a couple of drinks in, a couple of cigarettes in too, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
Makes sense. It
So
makes sense. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
So
yeah.
talk about like just the makeup of it. Like how long did it take to get into the character itself physically? And how arduous was it just being in that all day?
Man, I don't want to keep crying on about it, but it was fucking hard, man. I don't know, man. I was the first few times I was like, all right, that's good. It took like 6 hours the first process. It's a learning curve, right? We got that down to like four. As we all started to work as a team, we got to know each other a little more intimately, and those guys figure out their craft. But it took 4 hours. It took a lot of patience. And it was like you working with the elements. There's some days the shit wouldn't stick. Sometimes I would sweat more and it'd just be pouring out of my eyes. It would be coming off. It would be 100 degrees in the woods. Then it would be 40 degrees in the woods. It was just, you're kind of rolling with the punches, man. It was definitely a learning curve, man. It's not like a prosthetic character that's like number 7, 8 on the call sheet, right? It's the guy who's there 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 hours, 5, 6 days a week, right?
Uh-huh.
So it was a big deal, man. And when I finished, I lost like 20 pounds and tears came out of my eyes, man. I was tired.
I can
I was
imagine.
tired, man. It kicked
So
I've been through some things in life, but fucking Hellboy, man, it tested my resolve.
answers my next question. I was going to say, was that the toughest part of the shoot?
Yes, in
Yeah.
general, on the surface, absolutely. I mean, like the first week, you had a lot of energy. You had, and after a while, you're getting tired, right? You're getting tired, emotionally and physically, and yeah, I mean, there was good days, there was bad days, right? But it was
Hmm.
tough, man. It was definitely challenging at times, but
Yeah.
but I know what I signed up for, But at the same time, it's like Mike Tyson said, like everyone's got a plan till they get punched in the face, and the Hellboy punches you in the face, man.
But that's it. You got to really just stop and think, hey, I'm fucking Hellboy. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely, man.
You know, another thing I loved in this, I do love seeing Jefferson White in movies. He's really starting to rise up the
Hmm.
ranks. He's popping up everywhere. He's recently in Civil War. And I'm just wondering, what's he like to work with? Because I really hope he is a rising star. I hope he really lands somewhere big.
I got really lucky with a great cast. There was not a lot of big old freaking diva ego bullshit, man. It was
Hmm.
just a bunch of actors who were really excited to be there. They were there at the right time in their career, I think. Working, I just felt like I was back in school or something, just guys like excited again. Everybody was excited to be there. Everybody really, really chewed up the opportunity, right?
Yeah.
All got to eat after, hang out, talk about things. It was we were honestly friendly, man. And, it was a good time. I got lucky with a good cast.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I want to sort of wind this down with a couple of personal questions for you, which I'm very interested to know because your work
Shoot.
in general covers all kinds of genres. Like you've kind of done a bit of everything. What kind of things are you into in your own time when it comes to movies? What sort of genres do you gravitate towards?
Oh, as far as films,
Yeah,
whew, you know what? I'm like a changing, kind of evolving person. So when I got into films, I was like you. I've had more DVDs. I don't know where they all went, man. I moved so much, I lost everything. I don't know
yeah,
where anything is, but I was I was just eating it up, man, like a madman. I was just obsessed with film. I've watched anything from Kim Kiddu films in Korea to Kieslowski films to, obviously Cassavetes films, the OG. I mean, everything. I just ate it all up, man. And blockbuster films. I mean, there's nothing I didn't, no stone was unturned, right?
yeah,
But nowadays, it's like I'm kind of in the business, so that not that fire extinguished, it just became a little more sustainable, right? So, but to answer your question, I don't really discriminate. I
yeah.
honestly don't. I just if it's good, if it's great craft, it's a great filmmaker, it's a great performance. I'm into it, man. Let me see what I saw last. I mean, I'm a big fan of Jacques Audiard, who did The Pan, who did The Prophet, right? Crime dramas. I love crime. Crime pays, baby, especially on set.
Yeah, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. Were
Yeah.
there any particular movies or performances that you saw as a kid that triggered your desire to become an actor?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say back in the day it was Pacino in Scent of a Woman.
Oh, really? It's a good one.
Yeah, yeah, totally, man. I
Wow. What?
love how he was just fucking giving it to the system, the schools. I was like, yeah, fuck them all. Let's go. I was that kind of a kid. Now
That's
I'm a little more,
amazing.
I would say, grown up, man. But
That is amazing. So, what was like as a kid? What was a staple movie other than sort of that sounds something that was more in your teenage years? I'm guessing.
no,
Um.
no, that was 20s, man,
Yep.
20s.
Yep. So, what was
I
like a
wasn't into
favorite?
movies, man. In my teens and like early 20s, I was a kid from the street, man. I was in and out of jail, man. I was rolling around like a madman.
Right. Yep.
And the acting and the plays and all that stuff kind of rescued me, as corny as it sounds, but it really did. It gave me a purpose and self-esteem. So it kind of took me out of the mud.
That's
But
amazing.
yeah, that was one of the first. And then I can't really remember. I mean, you know what? I also like the Mickey Rourke in was he good in Bullet with Tupac Shakur? I love that
Wow,
one.
yeah. Geez, yeah. Haven't thought about that movie in a long time. That is a
Yeah,
good one,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I don't know if it's any good now,
Yeah,
but it was
well,
great back then. I
I
loved it.
remember it being pretty good.
That's Julian Temple. He's a music director, man. He crushed that film
Hmm.
for that time. It was great.
Was it
But
did you
I don't remember.
was that was it the one with James Belushi as well? Did you say that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
can't. Yes,
think it
it was the the,
yeah.
the schizophrenic brother who was like bunkered down in a room, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I
Wow.
think I'm not sure. I can't remember anymore, man. Might be
I'm thinking of the
mistaken.
poster. I think it was him on the poster.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, final question for you. I hope I'm not putting you too much on the spot, but I'm just wondering what your favorite movie is.
Oh man, I wish I could answer that, man. It changes.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
same.
say spring, summer, fall, winter by Kim Kiddu.
Wow, that's a unexpected one. Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a great answer. Hey, thanks so much for having a sit down and a chat with me because
I enjoyed it.
the fact I got to chat with the Hellboy is just incredible, and I hope everyone
The
gets
fact
out and
that
checks this
somebody
out.
wants to talk to me,
Well, next project you got, come back on because
let's do it.
I love these sort of chats. But thanks so much, mate. Hope you have a
Yeah,
good
I
afternoon.
like this very much. All right, you have a good morning, man. I talk to you.
Something in these hills. Something haunted. Evil. It smells like death.
do you know that?
Dark things called dark things.
I heard tales about him all my life. Most just called him the Crooked Man.
We've got company.
All your friends, they all gonna die.